The question that so many people are asking right now is, should I buy a house right now or should I wait until 2023? Truthfully, there are great arguments to support both options, but it's really going to come down to your situation and your personal risk tolerance as well. Now, this will probably be a quick video, but I wanted to go over some of the pros and cons with you of buying a house right now, waiting until later in the year, or even waiting until next year to buy a house. At the end of the day, this is a decision that you're going to have to make, but I hope that this video helps to highlight some possibilities of each of the scenarios. Just before we get into that, my name is Jessie McLellan and I'm a realtor here in Oshawa, Ontario. And if you would like to stay up to date on what's going on in the real estate market in Durham Region, please subscribe to our channel. So if you purchase a home today and are looking to get financing, you can choose between either a fixed rate or a variable rate mortgage. Now, while a 5-year variable rate almost always outperforms a 5-year fixed rate, I completely understand wanting to have the peace of mind of knowing exactly what your payments are going to be, especially if you make a set salary, because it makes budgeting so much easier. So for the purpose of this video, let's assume you chose a 5-year fixed rate mortgage, the benefit of which is knowing exactly what your payment is going to be for the next 5 years. We know interest rates are likely going to continue to go up and that there are 3 more rate announcements left in 2022. And as we know, the next announcement is in September, and we're expecting to see a 0.5 to 1% rate increase. Buying before the next rate increase means that you have the chance to lock in a lower rate. You have the peace of mind of knowing what your payment is going to be for the term, and you have the peace of mind of knowing that you're in the market and you own a home. You don't have to worry about following the market and wondering, are home prices decreasing enough to offset the increase in cost for rising interest rates? You're in the market, you have a home that works for you, and regardless of where home prices go in the short term, when looking long term, you've made a smart financial decision. Think about how long your parents have lived in their house. How about friends and other family? Most people don't buy a house and then sell it again 8 months later. So if home prices continue to decrease a little bit further after you purchase, and they likely will, if you zoom out and look at the bigger picture, you're going to see appreciation long term. And looking at the history of real estate values, there have been many peaks and valleys, but over time, real estate has consistently appreciated. If what you can be pre-approved for today allows you to purchase a home that works for you and your family over the next few years, then in my opinion, that's the option with the lowest risk. Realistically, if home prices continue to decrease and interest rates continue to go up, the difference in your monthly mortgage payment will be relatively low. For example, if you compare purchasing a semi-detached home in Oshawa in February of 2022 with the July of 2022 average price, the difference is about $250,000. But the difference in your monthly payment would only be about $200 or less. So when looking at the monthly cost, it's not that much more affordable considering the difference in purchase price. Where it is more affordable is in the down payment, which I'll touch on next. So what about waiting to buy a house until the end of 2022 or 2023? So there are a couple potential upsides to waiting. One is that as interest rates rise, it causes home prices to decrease enough that your payment would be lower than it would be today. That's a possibility. Another potential positive to waiting would be if the rate increase caused the home prices to decrease to the extent that your monthly mortgage payment now would be the exact same as it would be in the future. Because if the overall purchase price was lower, you still get 2 benefits from that. The first one being that a lower purchase price would mean that a lower minimum down payment is needed. So even if the monthly payment isn't more affordable, the amount of cash you need up front for a down payment is. Using the example I mentioned earlier with the Oshawa semi-detached home, you would actually need $25,000 less for a down payment in July than you would have in February. And the second benefit is that a purchase price is forever, but an interest rate is not. If you purchase at a lower price but a higher rate, there will likely be opportunities for you to refinance in the future at a lower rate. Waiting also allows you more time to save for your down payment. Now you're probably thinking, why would I buy a house now then? With the potential of higher reward comes higher risk. The possible downside is that the Bank of Canada continues to increase interest rates, but home prices don't drop at the pace that they have been, which would mean that you would qualify for less home than you were previously looking at. If an interest rate hike takes away $70,000 from your pre-approval, and the houses that you were looking at only decrease by $25,000, then you aren't able to afford the same homes that you were looking at before the interest rate hike. And if the home that would work for you and your family long term suddenly becomes out of budget, it would be a hard pill to swallow and unfortunately would be a risk that you would be taking by waiting until after the rate hike. And I do think it's likely that at some point in time we see prices start to bottom out or level out, or at the very least take less of a hit than they were in months previous. So if you choose to try and wait it out or time the bottom, just realize that that's a risk as well. Also, if everyone were to jump back into the market at the same time at what they perceive to be the bottom, it could potentially flood our local market for a little bit and cause more competition. And even though we are leaning towards a more balanced market, there are still not enough homes being built every year to keep up with the demand for housing. Just some food for thought. Regardless of if you're looking to buy sooner or wait it out a little bit, I always recommend speaking to a mortgage broker. A mortgage broker's services are almost always free to you because they're compensated by the lender. And most mortgage brokers will have access to hundreds of different lenders, including major banks. They will be able to guide you best on different lending options and what your budget might be at different rates. And even if you are waiting it out, they might be able to offer some tips to you to help improve what you would qualify for when you do decide to buy. In my opinion, it's never too soon to talk to a mortgage broker and figure out where you're sitting. If I were looking to purchase a property right now, I'd be most inclined to get my pre-approval sometime between now and the end of August, or definitely before the next rate increase. So I would lock in that rate and then purchase before that rate hold expires. That way I would know what my budget is, but I would be purchasing in a market right after a rate increase, but with a lower locked-in rate, hoping that the result of the rate increase softens prices a little bit more, but that my budget is higher than it would have been had I waited to get my pre-approval. It's also an option to look at a 2 or 3 year fixed rate mortgage instead of a 5-year, and bet on interest rates being lower when you go to renew. But that is something to speak to a mortgage professional about. And this is just my opinion and based on my personal risk tolerance, and yours might be different, and that's totally okay. My goal with this video is to create a discussion and help you weigh out some different options. I hope you found it helpful, and if you did like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. And if you like this type of content, then please consider subscribing to our channel. And if you have any questions about your situation or need recommendations for mortgage brokers or specialists in the GTA, then you can use the link in the description and book a call with me. I'm always here and happy to help. That's all for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.